Hello class, Michael here again. This is week 3 forum discussion, the happy secret to better work. Like the rest of the class, I thought Sean Anker was very funny, witty. He was able to deliver his presentation in a funny manner, as well as kept it lively and mixed in there some great jokes and some stories that he told. But he delivered his message in such a way that uh, it brought home on how we view success and happiness in our society today, and how we need to change it to redefine success, to redefine happiness. And I thought that was a great delivery from him in his presentation. Question one was, what attitude did Sean Anker measure and what were the results? I think the attitude he was trying to measure was the emotion or feeling involved in one's view of success. Our book referred to this as the affective component of attitude. Several times in his presentation, Sean mentions that we try to achieve happiness through success, but we don't let happiness sink in. So we try to compensate and achieve a higher form of success. He mentioned that we work harder thinking that we'll be more successful. We try to get better grades, thinking that that will be more successful for us. Similarly, a better job will lead to more success, but we don't let the happiness sink in. Once that happens, then we might feel that success, but because we don't, then we pursue more things, meaning we work harder, we try to get better, even better grades, we try to pursue even a better job. So instead of measuring that, he shifts and he talks about what he calls the happiness advantage, you know, experiencing the positive in the present, as he called it. And he found that measuring this, once this happiness advantage takes place and we are able to experience it in the present, there is a rise in our intelligence. We make better decisions. We are more creative. We're more productive. We can do more. We can work longer, and just make better choices overall. The second question was, what level of measurement do you think was used? I believe there were several measurements used, but two in particular I'll speak of where I can cite examples of was the ratio scales and continuous measurement. In the ratio scales, he talked about the examples of better grades, if passing the class is 70%, then and getting a C average is passing the class, then that's successful if you pass the class. But being in that range of the 80 percentile, being above average, if that deems to be successful in your criteria, then that you're going to achieve that, and that's success. Similarly, if you're getting a job, that job it's if it's an entry level job, your first job, and you're able to land a $50,000 job, that's success, right? But then if you're in the market for a while and your experience, if success is six figures, well, that's $100,000 job that will make you successful, or what you deem to be successful for that range. So those are the scales, that ratios that I was able to cite during the video. The other one is the continuous measurement, and that he talked about sales targets. It could be last year that was $1 million. This year is like 1.2 million. Next year it could be 1.5 million. So hitting the sales target last year, you were successful. And now, another measurement came up, or it's a continual measurement that it's increasing. It's like 1.2 million now, and 1.5, and it's going to keep continually measure up and up, and that scale is going to shift. And that example of sales target, that was a great example, I thought, because we think we're successful in achieving that mark, and yet we don't experience that happiness, because what we our next year's sales target is, it's even higher. And if we don't make that, does that make we're not successful if we only achieve 1.4 million instead of 1.5? Well, we just beat our last year's sale target, but we didn't hit this year's or next year's sale target. So, that was great examples that I can think of when he was speaking during the presentation. Our third question discussed the samples used in his study. I believe Sean used primary sampling and convenience sampling. He mentioned after he graduated from Harvard, he spent the next 8 years there as a counselor. He was able to put forth his studies as well as observe the students. And for a university, the number one renewable resource are students. So each year he was able to get new subjects to observe, to study, and um, he was able to find that he was able to observe that happiness for them quickly dissipated. They were successful, they got into Harvard, and then after a couple of weeks, it became more of, oh, now it's competition, now it's workload, now it's stresses. So he was able to put that into a study and observe the students. Our last question: explain the sample size used and the fieldwork utilized. In the video, I believe Sean, he said he studied and observed a mix of schools and companies in like 45 different countries. There was no exact population size that he mentioned, but I believe in his fieldwork he used sample distribution, standardized normal distribution, population parameters, because he was measuring a variable in the population, students in this case, or employees, for a variation in the characteristics of happiness or success. I believe he also gathered data and he used frequency distribution or percentage distribution to analyze the results and see who fell into the normal distribution, who were outliers, and who of those fell into the category of what he called the the um, the happiness advantage. Those he mentioned that fell into that category or was able to achieve that, there was a positive rise in intelligence. They were 30% more productive. They had more creativity, and they were able to think outside the box. So I believe those were the sample size that he used and the field work that he used. This concludes my forum discussion. I thank you for your time in viewing my post. I look forward to reading your feedback.